An East Coast low is a very specific type of weather system, and of course some of the clues are in the title. It's near the East Coast and it's a low pressure system, but there's a few more criteria that have to be met before we'll call something an East Coast low, including how long it lasts near the country, how intense the weather system gets, and the severity of the weather impacts that it brings to Australia. So there's this whole checklist of things that need to be met in order for something to be called an East Coast low. And this one here, we haven't quite called it that yet. Our New South Wales based forecast team, who have heaps of experience with these type of weather events, will go through that checklist today, and if they decide it's an East Coast low, then we'll start calling it that. But for the moment, a low pressure area near the East Coast, which will be a really significant weather system in coming days.
Right, okay, so how has this been developing? Because we've already had some pretty big falls through Queensland over the last 24 hours or so. How's it going to evolve through the day today and into tomorrow?
Yeah, it's just starting to ramp up at the moment, and it's actually being initiated by another weather system, which, as you say, has been affecting Queensland over the course of the weekend, been bringing lots of cloud and mostly moderate rainfall to parts of eastern Queensland through the last day or two. But overnight last night, we actually saw that rainfall start to pick up, particularly across North Stradbroke Island there off the Brisbane coast, as well as some reasonable rainfall around the Gold Coast and just across the state border into the northern rivers. So it's right around that area, the state border between Queensland and New South Wales, where this low pressure area is going to spin up later today, and then over the 24 hours from about this afternoon until tomorrow afternoon, it's going to really rapidly intensify, and by tomorrow it's going to be a large, powerful, significant low pressure area near that east coast of New South Wales, bringing lots of rain, lots of wind and very, very large waves.
So how much rain are we talking, do you reckon?
We're probably looking at a lot of places getting between 50 and 150 millimetres of rain over 48 hours from, say, midnight on Monday night through to midnight on Wednesday night. And that could be much of the New South Wales coast, from around about Port Macquarie right down to the southern border and into eastern parts of Victoria. Now, the highest totals will probably be even higher than that. Certainly likely that we'll see at least a few spots get 200 millimetres of rain over that 48-hour period. And anytime we're talking about 200 millimetres of rain, that does bring the potential for some areas of flooding. We could see those river levels start to rise. Minor to moderate flooding is possible through many rivers in New South Wales, including around the Hawkesbury-Nepean Valley and the Sydney area, and especially down through the Illawarra region as well. We could also see some areas of flash flooding, which just means flooding away from the rivers, just where the rain can't drain away fast enough, and that can mean inundation of homes, houses, properties and streets as well.
So we're looking at those kind of conditions regardless of whether or not the New South Wales team decide that it is an East Coast low?
Yeah, we absolutely are. Ultimately, whether it's called an East Coast low or not is fairly academic. Whether it happens or whether it doesn't, it's still going to be a powerful weather system. It will still bring some fairly significant impacts to the country, the rain, the flooding. We haven't even really talked about the wind, but that could be one of the biggest impacts with this low pressure area. Strong to damaging wind gusts, 90, 100 kilometre an hour wind gusts are expected for many areas tomorrow, then again on Wednesday. So we could certainly see trees down, branches down, damage to properties, fences, roofs, trampolines, maybe power outages as well. So the wind is certainly going to be battering the eastern side of the state, and that could be all the way from the very far north and in fact even into Queensland, right down to the very far south of the state and into eastern Victoria. So almost everyone across New South Wales will be seeing some strong winds in coming days.